survivors, and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. And in this video we're going to be going over like a nice little login reward scheme that's going to be set up by Scopely, where you can get yourself potentially 5 characters all to LB3. But not just that, you could potentially get 1 or 2 extra characters out of this as well, especially if you hadn't got these characters before, you hadn't maxed them out, and we'll go through how you can do that. If you are returning to the game, this is going to be absolutely amazing. If you're someone who's a veteran who's stuck around, this isn't maybe going to be as amazing, but it's still potentially going to get you characters to LB3 that you otherwise did not, or you're going to have a handful of bits to play with. Let's get into the info. Now, it's called Springtime Slaughter, and it is effectively seen as a giveaway. The event times are as follows. It starts on the 28th of April at 5 PM Pacific time, and it ends on the 6th of May at 5 PM Pacific time. So lasting just about 1 week, pretty much, just over a week. And you're going to have to log in to get this done, and I think it is like a 7-day login. And you get 8 days to do it effectively. And you know how the logins are kind of messed up sometimes, where it like doesn't track your login, perfectly. So they do generally have like the extra day or 2 on top, just to make sure everyone gets the full login rewards that they should be getting, where one person's a day ahead for whatever reason. We still don't know why that happens. Now, reading through the intro information, it says, "Hello survivors, to celebrate the spring and say thank you for your continued support, we're excited to announce the Springtime Slaughter giveaway. Log in starting at 5 PM Pacific on April 28th, 2022 to pick up a unique daily free reward, including 5 copies of Gold Mythic Fighters, gear medals, and a weapon choice box for 8 days. And yes, you did read that correctly, enough copies to get each fighter to limit break 3. Check out the full list of rewards from the Springtime Slaughter login calendar below. Make sure you don't miss a day to maximize your haul." And here is the login calendar, as you can see, and it goes from the 28th to the 5th, with that extra day being the day I was talking about before. The first day you log in, you can get yourself 5 gold mythic Michonnes. This is Decap Michonne, still quite a good character in my opinion. Then we have on the 29th, you can get yourself 5 gold mythic Sandys. Not as good as she used to be, but still pretty fun. Could be good for things like challenge run, that sort of thing. On the 30th, you can get 60 gear medal choice boxes. If this is like the normal gear medal choice boxes, it's going to be a selection of you choosing 5 bronze or 5 silver or 5 gold. So potentially 300 of whichever of those you choose. The next one would be 5 times Mythic Negan. You get that on the 1st of May. On the 2nd of May, you can get 5 times Gold Mythic Skins. On the 3rd of May, you can get 25 random platinum mod boxes. This is actually really awesome for everybody. It is pure RNG, but you should at least get 1 mod out of this that's decent to you if you're a veteran. If you're a returning player and you haven't had platinum mod boxes, this is going to be great. And then if you see on the 4th of May, we get a weapon choice box. There's not much information on this, and this is kind of like the, rub your chin sort of moment for everybody, not just people who are returning, but this could be actually decent for everybody in the game. We'll have to wait and see. It doesn't say whether it's 5-star weapons. It doesn't say whether it's 4-star weapons. There could be, something very special in here. We'll have to wait and see. A lot of the time, I would say with these weapon choice boxes is, the only downside is it's quite obvious which one to pick, because you can get like 2 or 3 bad weapons, and then 1 just weapon that's actually pretty decent. And it's generally good to go with that one. Hopefully there's at least 2 in there that's worth picking up. Then at least it's some sort of like conversation there. That'd be actually kind of cool. And then lastly, on the 5th of May, we can get 5 gold mythic Michonne 2000s, who I know is a big favorite of a lot of people, and she is actually quite hard to come by. She is in the 10% half of the gold mythic wheel. It can be completely random. You could just have never actually managed to pull her at all, and you could just be sitting there with 0 no matter how long you played. So you could now be up to LB3, which is obviously fantastic. So if we have a quick count, you can see you can get yourself 25 gold mythic characters here, which would be limit break 3 on these 5 here. And if we just check over to in-game, I can show you like the team of these characters together. And that would effectively be this team here. Quite a lopsided team, but all attack team based characters. So again, this is good for returning players, going to get you up to, a standard on attack, and I think this is actually great. I think this should be commonplace for people who come into the game to have a chance to get at least a decent attack fighter. You should have one, centerpiece for your attack team. So this is going to be able to bring you quite a few decent characters onto your roster. As you can see, I've obviously put quite a lot of levels into some of these characters. I did use Michonne and Sandy as a duo for a very long time. They were a really nice combo at the beginning of the Mythic era up until probably like Christmas, basically, where Sandy's damage just wasn't hitting the mark. But like I said, she's definitely going to be fine in other game modes. And if you are a returning player, you can see the 5 characters you're going to get on the top bar. But right now in the Mythic store, there are these 2 characters that you can pick up. And those 7 characters, you'll be able to make very nice different like attack teams with. You will have like Bleak Cleanses in there with Lydia, lots of more damage. Great support character in Mike. And you can just swap around 2 damage dealers plus skins. And Mike, you're going to have bonus HP, you're going to have control, you're going to have a lot of different things that you kind of require. Obviously, you can buff some of these characters up as you pull more characters, but this is a good baseline. Now, for me personally, as you can see, I have got all these characters to LB3 already, so this is going to be 25 guild bits. And if we go over to the bit shop, you can see I've still got 23 hand-ins to do here. I haven't actually done any gold mythic pulls since this has changed because they haven't run a gold rush that I've liked, but I'll be able to hand all of these in pretty much for guild bits the second I get them. Not too much of a terrible situation there, but it is what it is. Nothing for me personally. I'm very intrigued by that weapon crate, however. We'll have to see what's in there. Now, at the beginning of the video, I said you could get your hands on 7 characters, not just the 5 that they showed in the login calendar there. And that is because 2 of those characters are part of Mythic Trials. If we go into the museum and I go into the Mythic Trial section, you can find the Mythic Trial hand-ins here. I've actually done both of these, so I go to the completed collections, and you can see that for Michonne 2000, if you get her completely maxed out, level 720 on her base, this does not include her lieutenant system, you can get her to hand in at the museum. You do not lose the character, it just basically acknowledges, hey, you've got that character to limit break 3 and they're level 720. Here are 1000 gold mythic Rick 2000 shards, and then with those 1000 shards you can go in for Rick and you can claim yourself 1 copy of Rick 2000. This is a command. He is someone who can be used on an attack team or a defense team, but at grade 4 until you get him to like limit break 2, he's not really going to have great usability on a defense team. And then there is another character you can do that with, which is going to be Michonne, who is here, and it's the normal Michonne. This isn't as big a priority, I don't think. I think the Michonne 2001 is very worth doing. This one, not so much. Morgan is decent, but because he's a defense team character, he has to definitely be up to at least a certain limit break. Generally, limit break 1 is a minimum, but I would say probably limit break 2 or limit break 3. And then once you've done that, you get 1000 of the Morgan shards, just like you do with Rick, and you get your hands on a copy of Morgan. These are just the normal edition Morgans. You can no longer get the first edition Morgan or Rick 2000 because their events are finished, unlike, current Mythic Trials that are going on. But these characters are just as strong as they were as first editions. It's just exactly the same. So this is pretty great overall, just if you were missing some of these characters, or if, like I said, you're a returning player, I would just pretty much get all of these characters to the limit break 3. They're going to be usable for Conquest, they're going to be usable for Challenge Run, and quite importantly, 3 of these characters are premiers, so they are harder to come by in the future. Characters like Michonne, Skins, and Michonne 2000. If you did decide, hey, I want to sell some of these characters, those are the characters that are going to be much harder to get in the future. Characters like Sandy and Negan will be a little bit easier just because they're 90% characters, but you could just get unlucky. It's harder to get pulls on the Gold Mythic wheel now. You're not going to be pulling as often as you previously would have, and if you are a returning player, you're not going to pull that often on that Gold Mythic wheel. It's not going to be like 100 pulls a month. You might be looking at like, maybe, if you're lucky, 25 pulls a month. And you've basically just been given 25 characters from this login calendar, like I say. It's good to establish your roster, all attack team characters. This is a big thumbs up from me personally. Even though I don't get any characters out of this or any advancement, well, fingers crossed. Let's see what that weapon crate is going to be like, hey? But that is the end of my video, guys. Do leave me your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Are you going to be able to get some of these characters? Are you someone who stuck around for a while and actually going to be able to get someone up to LB3 that you didn't have before? Michonne 2000, maybe Decap Michonne skins. I think those are the characters that people maybe don't have up to LB3. I only recently got skins to LB3 myself, so it was very close to actually being a usable character in there for me. Like I say, thoughts in the comments down below. That is the end of my video. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.